Harris County District Attorney Sean Teare on Monday warned of a potential crime spike this month amid a loss of SNAP benefits for nearly 500,000 residents across the county. The district attorney said food insecurity is one of the largest crime drivers in the world. His comments came Monday when the Trump administration said it would partially restore food benefits to SNAP recipients in November. An estimated 3.5 million Texans benefit from SNAP payments, which had been frozen starting on Saturday as the federal government shutdown entered its second month. And joining us now to discuss is Harris County District Attorney Sean Teare. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. In studio. I'm so glad to be here.
I don't think we've ever met face to face.
I don't think so. I grew up watching you, as I said, on Zoom last night, but never in person.
Well, I've watched you for the last couple of years. Congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
You know, Sean, for decades, researchers have studied public health consequences in crime in America. And I think nutrition is often overlooked. Now we are looking at America's largest anti-hunger program that has been essentially paused and will restart again. What are your thoughts on this as we go into this new wave?
We haven't done enough to combat hunger and to pause in any way the largest outreach and help in the nation. The studies are unequivocal. It drives crime. When people have food instability, it is one of the largest crime drivers in the world, historically and currently. So when you're talking about this, it quite frankly is terrifying, and it's going to erode. My concern is a lot of the work we've done over the last few years that has shown that crime and violent crime specifically is down.
It's a classic Les Miserables tale, isn't it?
Exactly
Steal a loaf of bread because you're hungry, go to prison. It doesn't help things. With the recent announcement, yesterday's announcement, days are all confusing to me, with the president saying that they were putting some more money back into this for partial funding. Do you know exactly what the time frame is on that, what it actually means, what people will see on their cards and when?
I don't think anyone does. I think historically, whatever he says is typically not things that actually happen. So I'm concerned that we're not going to see it in real time. But think about it. A single day of delay is really the floating or sinking for some families. There are people that don't have the capability and wherewithal to survive a single day without the benefits. So any pause and any partial funding is quite frankly not enough.
You probably know better than I. I was doing sort of a brief look at what kind of money these people are getting that are on SNAP. Maybe $500 a month.
Exactly. But that's the difference sometimes between keeping your apartment, keeping food on the table one day, just the $500. We're not talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. We're talking about basic subsistence.
And the legislature made some rules about what these monies could go to. Have those been enforced?
Enforcement of any of this kind of thing is hit and miss, and because of the volume of people that are utilizing them. But at the end of the day, if 1 or 2 or 10 people are misusing these funds, the vast majority of them are using them to feed themselves and their children.
Now, Sean, when we're looking at Harris County and we're looking at crime, where are we at right now within our county, and what are you doing to anticipate potential spikes?
Yeah, we are in a very good spot. Look, our violent crime numbers across the board in every category are down, and they have been trending down since 2022. Our jail population is down from a high of 9,900 to we are sustaining at 8,600. We've already canceled a number of the contracts where we are exporting people to different jails because we're overcrowded. We're really moving in the right direction. But we are anticipating, and we always need to anticipate spikes in crime. The next hurricane is coming. Right. The next pandemic is likely coming. And so we've got to continue to build our infrastructure so that we can sustain this success going forward.
Do you think some of that's due to the increase in salaries for law enforcement?
I don't think we've seen that benefit yet. I think we are going to reap some benefits of having retention and more experience on the streets because of the increases in salaries, but it's been so soon and it just kind of has taken to effect. I don't think we're seeing that yet, but I think we are going to see benefits to that in the near future.
And what are we doing to help make up for the SNAP issue? Food banks, because Medicaid help with prescriptions that these people might need?
To an extent, and yes, any of that. But I can't believe we have to say this, but we've got to pick up the slack for the federal government. And it is whatever you can do. Yesterday we were out at a food bank issue handing out food, and it is whatever you can donate. Is it money? Is it food? Is it your time? Whatever you can do as a person to get out there and help those with less is going to be meaningful.
In our county, do you have any idea of how many people we're talking?
So the numbers that I have seen are somewhere between 8 and 900,000 people that rely on SNAP benefits.
In a county of 4 million?
Yeah.
25% of us.
Yeah.
Wow, Sean, that's a lot.
It is.
I had
concerning.
no idea.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to a little bit when you were talking about the rates when we talk about abuse or crime, because a lot of folks are arguing, well, it's a good thing it's pauses because we can take a better look at who's been abusing the system. When you talk about the sheer number of people that need to be on it, even if you're talking about 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people, it's a tiny percentage of those that are actually being helped. So in any massive number of large amounts of people, there's going to be some on the fringes that are going to take advantage.
Always.
But it's very small.
Yes. And those people that want to talk about individuals that are misusing it, what I think we're kind of missing as well is this doesn't just affect the 500,000 to almost 1 million people that are utilizing this in Harris County. This affects businesses and business owners everywhere because these monies are then put into our commerce stream, and you're going to have people losing that revenue, which then will put them closer to this issue. So it is a county and statewide issue.
Well, we all saw on Sunday the domino effect of the airlines. TSA doesn't work, then people can't get on their planes, then there's delays, and there are people on the tarmac. I mean, it just goes on and on. To your point, when people don't have the money they normally go and spend, then the business owners and everybody that supplies the business owners, it just goes on and on as to how it affects them. And if you're talking about almost 1 million people in this county, that's a huge amount of money not coming in.
That's exactly right. And it will affect eventually every person in this county, right? And which we drive the state of Texas. We are the biggest county in the state of Texas, the second biggest county in the United States now. So as we go, the state of Texas goes, and that's
Do
a problem.
you really think it'll spike crime? Have you seen any evidence of that, or are you just guessing?
So the studies are really unequivocal over the last years and decades that 1% increase in food instability translates to about a 12% increase in crime. That is, this is not something that's just hyperbole or anything. It is a real issue.
Well, we've seen people draw lines over oil. You can imagine what they're going to draw a line over when it comes to food.
That's exactly right.
That's right. You're listening to Hello Houston. We are speaking with Harris County District Attorney Sean Teare. If you have a question or comment and would like to join the conversation, you can give us a call or send us a text at 713-440-8870. Now, Sean, I was reading the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and this is dietetics. This is exactly what they were essentially saying. But I'm also looking at, you talked about the pandemic. Crime is going down. Do you think that the reason crime is simply going down because we were coming out of a pandemic, and that is usually causes a spike, and so we're just kind of in a good position because of that?
I think that there's no question that the decline was due to a huge spike
during
initially,
COVID.
but that means that we've got to continue to build and capitalize on that. And I think you've seen over the last year that because of really a tight grouping and relationships of the leaders in this county, we've been able to maximize the success of that decline and go further with it.
Right. Now, there's also the perception, though, I think a lot of people in Harris County and Houston feel not necessarily that safe. What are your thoughts on yes, the numbers are showing that we're going down, but you still hear, I mean, just last week, a car was stolen in our neighborhood. You know, you still hear about that offhanded situation happening. How do you combat perception versus the reality in numbers?
So I say this all the time, but crime is just theoretical until it's personal. And, and that really affects, you know, when your neighbor gets their car stolen or their home broken into, now you don't feel safe. That is a crime wave in a one issue thing. And so I think it really needs to be messaging, right? It needs to be, yes, we are dealing with that one instance, but overall. So it's a yes and, because yes, crime is personal to you when that happens, and the anecdotal stories terrify us all. But we do need to be very vigilant about continuing the narrative that across the board, violent crime and crime as a whole is down.
Well, do you think the crimes that this would spark are more about shoplifting food because I'm hungry, as opposed to give me all your money and I have a gun at your back because I need the money to go buy food?
Well, what we've seen is that all the crime grows, right? The ones that were going to commit a crime now maybe arm themselves with a gun.
And
to
maybe
get
they
more
feel
money.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The government is making me do this.
You know, you can attribute motives to just about anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are self-justification to go commit crimes. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter to the victim. That doesn't matter to the person that's at that ATM with a gun in their ear. But it is a reality that we all need to be prepared for.
I hope that we're not mischaracterizing it as desperation leads to crime. That
That's
people
exactly.
can be desperate and can be feeling pain. Doesn't mean they all turn to crime.
And they don't.
Right. I just want to make sure that point's out there. But also, people talk about at the holidays, you see crime go up. With food insecurity, you see crimes go up. It could be a difficult juggernaut to get through unless something straightens out.
You're absolutely right. This is kind of a synergistic effect potentially of food insecurity, financial insecurity, and the holidays coming up. So we're going to be vigilant. We're going to be ready to tackle any increase that we see. But at the end of the day, the point is that we've got to get back to work in D.C. We've got to get in rooms and fix this. You know, put aside all political components to it. We've elected all of them to get up there and run a government, and that's not happening right now, and we're going to see it affect us here.
Well, it's also interesting because even if they were to start it again today, people have gone without food for a number of days.
Yep.
And so they may have things in storage, but for people that are living on that much, you are not buying to build your pantry. You're buying for what you need each day.
Right. They're not going to Costco to load up.
But
Any
also
word
when you
from
bring up, hold on one second, when you bring up Costco, I think of Walmart, and we were talking earlier about the amount that comes in through SNAP benefits that then fuels other companies. And wasn't Walmart just saying about the percentage?
It's about
of their-
27%.
Yeah, comes out of people who are using those benefits in their stores, and you can see the ripple effect right there then.
That's exactly right.
Is any word from the governor? Is there any preparation for the state to help with this situation, or are they crickets?
I haven't heard anything.
Haven't heard a word.
Certainly, we welcome any and all help.
You know, Sean, I want to turn really quickly to a story out of Southeast Houston that made national news. It was called the Ding Dong Ditch case. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and where we are at in that case?
So the defendant was indicted a couple of weeks ago, I believe.
Like some kids were ringing his bell.
Right, an 11-year-old was
And
shot,
he shot
in the back.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. And so, you know, as I think we talked about it
Yes.
initially, this is not something that we're going to speed through. We were able to get an indictment secured, and now it is really getting ready for, I think, in a case like this, an inevitable trial. This is not one that likely ends in a plea bargain. This is one where we're going to have to ask 12 citizens of our county to decide both whether or not the defendant is guilty and what the appropriate punishment is.
Has
Because-
he undergone any kind of psychiatric evaluation that you know of?
So we are not at liberty to request that. That is something that if his defense team deems appropriate to do, they will do, and whether or not they want to share it with us before trial is is something that, it kind of depends on what it says.
Right.
So I'm not aware.
Something else that continues to be top of mind when people think of the county is our Harris County jail system. You did touch on that a little bit. Where are we at? Where are we at on the latest issues that we've been having in there? We've had multiple inmates who have actually died within custody.
We have. It is when we were at 10,000 people in custody at any given time, we were dealing with, quite frankly, a humanitarian crisis in the jail. It has been one of the things that I have been most proud of this year, that our prosecutors have gone to trial. We have made plea bargains. We've dismissed cases that, quite frankly, needed to be dismissed, but may not have been the most politically sensitive ones to do. And so empowering my lawyers to do their job has resulted in an almost 1,400 person decrease without the rate of dismissals going up. So we've tried more cases already this year than we've tried since Hurricane Harvey in a given year, and we've got a lot more to go. Mm-hmm. We have sent more people to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice than we have in any year since at least 2016. But we've also diverted more cases before charging and after charging than we have in any given time. So we're moving cases.
When you talk about politically sensitive, what do you mean by that?
It runs the gamut from the Stephen Hotze aggravated assault cases that I could not find probable cause in. We dismissed those to, the former Harris County Health Barbie, I can't remember her last name. Mm-hmm. They're all politically charged cases, but if probable cause doesn't exist or we don't believe that we are going to be able to secure a conviction at a trial, our ethics demand we dismiss it and dismiss it at that moment, not
right.
when it's politically expedient for me to do so.
Does anything keep you up at night?
Oh, yeah. I've got 4 kids. I don't sleep at all.
Also,
I didn't mean that. I meant sort of like on your plate as what you do professionally.
Yes. It really runs the gamut. I worry about my almost 400 lawyers and 600 people that help staff that office, whether they're able to do their job and whether they feel empowered to do it. That keeps me up a lot. I worry every time I get a click to push notification, what is this one going to say, right? Because eventually it's gonna wind its way to me. It really does run the gamut from week to week, but yeah, sleep is sometimes hard to come by.
For somebody that folks in the community look up to, and a lot of folks are, as we started with this conversation, concerned about how they're going to feed their families, how they're going to feed themselves, what's going to happen over the next few days or could even be weeks, God forbid, months.
Right.
What would you say to them right now?
That there are people out here that are there to help. It may not get to the level that we all hope it will, but there are so many people in this incredible community that are here to help. Just reach out and reach out to any and everyone that they can find.
I would add also reach out to your elected officials and tell them you want them back working and to fix this problem.
Yeah, and to echo the way that we started this segment, get out today and vote.
Thank you.
Your voice heard.
You're singing Ernie's song.
Trust me, as a politician now, mine too.
Harris County District Attorney Sean Teare. Sean, thank you so much for joining us today on Hello Houston.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad to be in studio, and I want to come back as much as I can.